Welcome to Life Happens, where Texans come to protect their legacy and prepare for the second half of life. Join your host, attorney Kim Hegwood with Hegwood Law Group, and our weekly guest as we navigate the challenges that emerge as life happens. Now here's your host, Kim Hegwood.
Good morning and welcome to Life Happens. Today our very special guest is Saba Shahid, and she has an interesting company called Creative Neurology. And so welcome to the podcast this morning.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
And I'm super excited. And when I found out, more about, what your company did, I thought, well, that's really fascinating. And so we seem to be on a theme these days, talking about different types of, illnesses that affect us and things that we can do to help, the person that's been diagnosed, as well as, caregivers and things like that. And so I'd kind of like to start off so that people kind of get an idea. Tell our audience, what is Creative Neurology?
Absolutely. So Creative Neurology is a company that focuses on igniting creativity and providing solutions to patients, particularly living with movement disorders and neurological disorders today. So while, many of, people living with Parkinson's, MS, while we're in search for that cure, it's our goal and our job to come in and help you learn to live better with your symptoms instead of feeling burdened by them.
Oh, that's awesome, because I know a lot of people really struggle as their symptoms progress. And
Absolutely.
So how do you help people, if they're become a client of your company?
Absolutely. So we have two signature programs. The first is our Smile Through Art workshop series, and then the second is our Let's Combat Micrographia workshop series. So with our Smile Through Art workshops, what we've done is we've developed an entire curriculum to help people with different disorders learn to work with their symptoms. So as an example, there's a lot of things that you can do when it comes to art and movement disorders, since both of them require, fine motor skills, gross motor skills. We started conducting research back in 2014 to see how art can be introduced in the process of helping, someone with a neurological disorder learn to live better with their symptoms. And so as an example, one of the things when we're working with people living with Parkinson's, oftentimes they have a tremor in their hands. When that tremor is present, they tend not to use that hand as much. There's a level of embarrassment. There's this level of lack of control. And so there's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of hesitation. And so if someone were to attend our Smile Through Art workshop, one of the things we focus on is improving that hand control by introducing them to things like finger painting or using a paintbrush. And now we're giving them different commands on how to move that hand. And, they're not only exercising fine motor control, but they're using their creative mind, their creative brain to create something. And at the end, it's this amazing feeling because they've now worked with their hand that they thought was completely incapable of doing anything and have created this beautiful piece. So that's just one example of, how we use and introduce our Smile Through Art workshop. We also have, with many of these neurological disorders, there can be some level of anxiety and depression that comes into play, at some point in someone's disease progression. And so we've actually done research that was published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease and Parkinsonianism, which shows that when a person attends our Smile Through Art workshops, in just an hour and a half, that's how long they typically are, a person with Parkinson's particularly will go from a lower level of mood to a heightened level of mood. So 98% of the time we see this increase in mood. And it's just really amazing to see, because in such a short amount of time, even if you involve yourself in some type of artistic ability, you're able to process some of those emotions, relieve some of that stress, and have that heightened level of mood. So that's our Smile Through Art workshop. And then on the other side, our Let's Combat Micrographia workshops, that's particularly focused on the symptom of micrographia. So micrographia is small handwriting. It's a prodromal symptom. It can occur in people living with Parkinson's, people with MS, Huntington's, people with essential tremors. And so again, all connected neurologically. And this is a symptom where someone's handwriting becomes very small, illegible, slanted. Sometimes you can't make out any of the words. And again, we saw this as a need for a resource There was nothing out there. We started doing research on this symptom as well back in 2014, where we set up focus groups, started working with patients to see what works, what doesn't work. And then in just 2 years, we released our first edition, Let's Combat Micrographia workbook. We continued doing additional research, and 4 years later, we were actually recognized by the United States National Institute of Health as the only resource available in the world for people that have this symptom. And so currently we have 5 different workbooks that are out there, self-help books where, a person can open it up. It sounds like there's an instructor there with them, leading them through various different exercises, both hand exercises and writing exercises. And then we also have a live course that occurs. It's a 7-week course where we take people through, all the different things that are required when we want to relearn how to write properly and combat that micrographia.
Do you think it's possible? I mean, I guess the question is, so they do these exercises and the things that you've done to kind of help them write better. Do you get to just a little bit better? Can you get a lot better? I mean, what kind of results are you seeing from this? Because this sounds fascinating. And so,
yeah, great question. We are seeing such amazing results. If I could share my screen, I can show you some pictures, but we can direct everyone to the website afterwards. It's really, really remarkable. When you think about handwriting, many people think that it's just a matter of picking up a pen or a pencil and getting to it. There's so much more that's involved that our research has shown, everything from posture to figuring out what the right writing instrument is for you. And so as we take people through the weeks, every week is a progression upon the previous week, and we're able to see results in as little as 3 to 6 weeks, where, people go from having, some of the characteristics, micrographia is a snowflake symptom, as I like to call it. No 2 people will have the same level of micrographia. So one person can have extremely small handwriting while another person can have completely illegible handwriting where it looks like scribbles on a piece of paper. And so, there's varying levels, and that comes with varying levels of, cognitive abilities as well as physical abilities that a person may have. And so, we have amazing success with folks that attend our 7-week programs where they're able to see those results in as little as 3 to 6 weeks.
Wow, that's awesome. And so I was a little, I was thinking, earlier when you were talking about your art program, that I think at any age you could have fun finger painting. So,
exactly.
and,
and a common misconception.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just thinking that my art's not something I'd want to put on the wall, though.
But that, that's one thing that prevents, a lot of people from even trying. And so the goal of our program is to introduce people to these various different things that they can be doing to ignite that creativity. So you never know what you may, hold on to. Some people like painting, some people like writing, some people like journaling, some people like singing. And so these are all different forms of art. Unfortunately, sometimes, we have this preconceived notion that we need to have, prior artistic abilities and already need to be good off the bat. And so that prevents, some of us from being able to partake. But, one thing I can say is if there's any type of programs out there, we're still providing all of our programming virtually. We actually have a lot of people from Texas that do join in on our workshops. And so, always take advantage. Never close an open door until you allow yourself to explore it.
So you have the 2 programs that you talked about, your art program and the Micrographia program. What other resources do you have available for patients?
Yeah, so we have our YouTube channel also has lots of free videos where we go through hand exercises, different motivational talks on there as well to help, sometimes when you hear it from another person that's living in your shoes, it's much easier to get involved and want to get involved. We have our 5 different workbooks that are available. The 2nd edition workbook, which is the one that was funded by the National Institute of Health, National Libraries of Medicine, that is available as well, which is the self-help book, which takes people through, all the chapters of what needs to be done to start improving your handwriting. We also have smile kits that are available. These are kits that we ship out. If a lot of times people have various different time commitments, and you're not able to join a live workshop, we have that as an option. Also for our Micrographia courses, we also have a completely self-paced autonomous program as well, where you can sign up online, create your account on our website, and take the course, independently without needing to join a group we've noticed that a lot of people who are still working, that option has been really, really great for them because they can, fit that into their schedule.
So do you think that art has a really huge impact for a person that's living with a disability?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much research that has been done, just on humans in general and how art impacts people. And, especially when you're living with some type of disability, using art as an outlet, it provides hope, it provides that relief of stress. When you're able to create, you have this increase of confidence as well in your abilities. Another really amazing thing about, partaking in an activity like art, or even, learning how to relearn how to write, is you're engaging all different parts of your brain, right? You are increasing your neural pathways, or increasing neuroplasticity, which enables you to not only, get excited about doing something new, but you're actually exercising areas of your brain in a way that you wouldn't be if you were just sitting at home and watching TV. And so, art is definitely a great way to have that hope, have that ability to relieve stress, have some focus. And so we always recommend, if you're too nervous about joining a program, that's totally okay. Go to the local dollar store, go grab a coloring book, grab some crayons or color pencils and get to it and see what happens. Doodling also, is another great form of art, believe it or not. There's been a lot of research that's been done that shows when you doodle, you're relieving stress. So anything, that you can do when living with a disability that allows you to relieve that stress, that allows you to have a bit more focus, that allows you to live outside the boundaries of your disability, is going to be very, very positive mentally and physically.
Perfect. And so do me a favor and Saba, and tell somebody how they can find you.
Absolutely. So you can reach us at www.creativeneurology.com. You can also shoot us an email at livebetter@creativeneurology.com, or contact us via phone 203-565-9647.
And so this has been great, and so I can already think of ways to to get some more of this information out to some people that could definitely use it. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you so much, Kim. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Life Happens with Kim Hegwood. Be sure to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. wherever you listen to your podcast as we navigate through the challenges that emerge as life happens. The content of this podcast does not establish an attorney-client relationship or constitute attorney-client privilege, legal, medical, financial, or any other professional advice.